Skip architecture and your startup is bankrupt before lunch. Nobody's coming to rescue you. The global EA market is projected at $1.9 billion by 2030, and it's not slowing down. A 4.8% CAGR from 2024 to 2030 means EA is scaling faster than your revenue projections. Ignore that growth, and you'll be crushed under mounting legacy costs and overwhelming technical debt. IDC data shows structured EA frameworks slash operational costs by an average of 15%. That 15% saving instantly extends your runway and fattens your profit margins in any market. Gartner warns by 2026, 70% of new enterprise apps will require architect-led modular frameworks. Without that backbone, you're building castles on sand and praying no storms ever hit. The Standish Group's Chaos Report shows 66% of large software projects crash without blueprints. You need systems thinking in your DNA, or you're set up for a catastrophic meltdown. Satya Nadella says the AI era demands a systems architect perspective to integrate LLMs effectively. Ignore that at your own peril. Nadella is steering a $1 trillion Microsoft cloud empire. Amazon's shift to SOA cut time to market by 40% and paved the road for AWS's $90 billion run rate. Service-oriented architecture is not jargon. It's your gateway to hyper-agility and explosive scale. Markets don't wait. They reward early adopters and strangle every laggard without mercy. Chaos is not a buzzword. It's a multi-billion-dollar drain on your P&L every quarter. Standish Group data shows 66% of large-scale projects fail or face crippling delays without architecture. That's not speculation. It's boardroom reality inside Fortune 500 giants every single day. Without a foundational blueprint, you're stumbling blind through a minefield of costly integrations. IDC reports framework-driven clients cut infrastructure waste and eliminate redundant systems across their estate. Imagine reclaiming 15% of your budget. That buffer is the difference between thrive and fail. McKinsey research proves aligning business architecture with strategy boosts profit margins by 25%. Think levers and counterweights. That's not a VC meme. That's architecture in action. If you fail to align, your strategy derails into endless firefights and rework cycles. Dora metrics reveal high-performing teams with a systems architecture mindset deploy code 208 times more frequently. That deployment gap is your competitor's lead, forged in disciplined systems thinking. Gartner predicts by 2026, architect-led frameworks will underpin 70% of new enterprise applications. No modular backbone means every new feature becomes a Frankenstein project, brittle and chaotic. Composable architecture isn't marketing fluff. Gartner warns 80% of digital transformations will fail without it. Digital disruption now rewards the prepared architect and eviscerates anyone still coding in the dark. An architect mindset isn't drafting blueprints, it's wielding strategic leverage at every decision point. Harvard Business Review names the architect a core leadership archetype for 2025 and beyond. They design resilient organizational structures engineered to survive every executive transition and shakeup. Every minute you waste tweaking code without a systems blueprint is time wasted on future rework. Solution architects in the US now command a median salary of $163,339, with 9% demand growth through 2026. Glassdoor data doesn't lie. Companies are starving for people fluent in abstractions and modular design. That hire will become your secret weapon against spiraling technical debt and uncontrollable feature bloat. Implement product architecture like Siemens and GE to slash BOM complexity by up to 30%. That 30% reduction transforms messy parts lists into lean factories and healthier profit pools. In construction, green architecture commands over $81 billion global spending by 2026 under new lead mandates. This isn't eco-fluff. It's a regulatory tsunami reshaping where capital flows and who wins bids. Treat architecture as a compliance checkbox, and you'll win permit stamps. not a competitive edge. Craft a composable backbone now and flex through market volatility like a seasoned pro wrestler. Forgotten modules become legacy potholes. Invest in architecture before your systems trip and collapse. The architect mindset is your ultimate hedge against randomness, chaos, and abrupt market shifts. Amazon's leap to SOA cut feature rollout times by 40% and birthed AWS's $90 billion plus empire. That seismic shift started with one senior architect simply refusing to back a monolithic system. Netflix rewrote its streaming stack into microservices, and exponential growth followed almost overnight. Microsoft Teams scaled to over 100 million users because of a robust modular architecture strategy. Spotify's squad model echoes enterprise architecture principles. Small teams orchestrating massive systems. Toyota's production system is the textbook of industrial EA, lean, modular, and shockingly resilient. Zero Trust security architecture rocketed from $31.1 billion in 2023 to a forecasted $60.7 billion by 2027. Security by design is not a box-ticking exercise, it's board-level survival strategy. IBM's 2024 CEO survey finds 75% believe their competitive advantage lies in generative AI data architecture. You can't wing your data models. Every flawed pipeline erodes trust and revenue potential. Siemens slashed BOM complexity by 30% using a product architecture mindset. That's real, tangible savings. GE matched that playbook and saw margins skyrocket almost immediately. Composable frameworks let you spin up feature experiments in hours instead of weeks or months. That velocity is why product market fit today demands an architecture sprint, not a last-minute hackathon. These aren't isolated wins. They form your indispensable roadmap to scaling at warp speed. If you can't architect LLM workflows, you're already irrelevant in the AI era. Satya Nadella's warning. Your chatbots need a solid backbone. Generative models choke on unstructured data chaos every time. IBM's survey finds 75% of CEOs now see robust data architecture as their prime competitive advantage. Data silos are a killer app for your rivals. Don't gift them that war chest. A rigorous data architecture slashes time to insight and supercharges every strategic decision you make. Machine learning pipelines collapse without a modular data schema. Just ask any Silicon Valley unicorn. Generative AI can't self-heal data errors. Your architecture must anticipate, detect, and correct mistakes. Composable data layers let you pivot into new markets with zero code rewrites. Real agility unlocked. Gartner warns, skip composable architecture and 80% of your digital transformations will implode by 2025. Don't be the corpse at the digital transformation funeral. Everyone remembers that cautionary tale. Architect a flexible spine where data, logic, and UX all lie under one coherent blueprint. That synergy turbocharges deployments, strengthens security postures, and accelerates innovation cycles. Zero Trust security goes hand in hand with modular data design. Don't treat them as separate bets. Forecasts predict Zero Trust will hit $60.7 billion by 2027. Build today or pay a steep premium later. The AI and data frontier stashes the biggest prizes for blueprint thinkers and dust for everyone else. If you think architecture is optional, you're living in a dangerous, delusional fantasy. By 2025, 80% of digital transformations will fail if you ignore a composable mindset. IBM CEOs warn that data architecture quality now defines competitive moats and market leadership. Harvard Business Review claims architects outlast any CEO when structural resilience is on the line. Your blind spots today become bankruptcies and layoffs as soon as uncertainty spikes tomorrow. It's not pessimism, it's raw data. 66% project failure, 80% transformation collapse, 208x deployment gaps. Green architecture, zero trust security, generative AI, all hinge on cultivating an architect mindset. Adapt or become irrelevant. That's the stark choice staring every tech leader and founder down. Invest in architects, not just coders. blueprint thinkers will define market winners in the next decade. HBR's 4 leadership archetypes crown the architect as king of enterprise survival in 2025. Without that crown, a sure-footed competitor will seize it and dominate your market share. Future winners will be blueprint thinkers, not desperate code monkeys scrambling on technical quicksand. Here's the final warning. Can you architect your own survival in a hyper-volatile world? If not, you're effectively constructing your own funeral pyre, and we're already listening for the flames.